My name is Sophia Carter, and at 38, I never imagined I'd be sipping coffee when my phone buzzed with a text from Nathan that exposed his plan to steal our marriage and company. Paris with Stella. Sign the papers. Soph, love you. My fingers froze on the mug, the kitchen island's marble cold as his words slammed into me like a betrayal I'd planned for someone else's wedding. It was a Monday morning, sunlight streaming through our penthouse, and I'd just opened the contract he'd handed me with a grin. Routine stuff, he'd said, his new $40,000 Patek Philippe, a reward for the Baker wedding, glinting on his wrist. I didn't flinch. Hold on, I said, smiling faintly, my voice steady as if soothing a panicked bride. This equity clause, is it new? I pointed to page 37. Nathan's eye twitched, his tell after 10 years of marriage. Just standard, darling, he grinned, the charm that once won me now a lie. For stability. His fingers tapped the table nervously. I'll double check, I said, closing the folder. He kissed my forehead and left for the office, blind to the storm I was holding back. The door clicked shut, and my calm shattered. My heart pounded over the air conditioner's hum as I reopened the contract with trembling fingers. If I signed, Nathan would take 51% voting rights in Carter and Pierce weddings, the luxury empire I'd built with my vision while he handled finances. My breath caught, a cold sweat prickling my neck. I logged into the company accounts. 6 withdrawals, $250,000, over 3 months, labeled business development, no receipts. My stomach twisted as the truth hit me like a spotlight on a ruined reception. 6 months ago, Nathan started business trips, returning with a $10,000 necklace he called a client gift, his eyes sliding away. 2 months ago, he'd pushed me to transfer my inherited beach house into our joint fund for tax planning. I'd felt his smug "you're too soft for business," Soph, but buried it under deadlines for $200,000 weddings. Now, his text, "Sign the papers, love you," mocked me, rage surging like champagne I'd poured for a bride's perfect day. He thought I'd sign away my life's work to fund his mistress. I kept my composure, just like when a florist flaked on a $200,000 wedding, I'd fixed it with a backup plan. But inside, I was breaking. I called Olivia Brooks, my best friend and our photographer, my voice firm despite the ache in my chest. "Liv, that Beverly Hills wedding, Nathan with someone?" She hesitated. "Soph, I didn't want to hurt you. Send the photos," I said, twisting the ring he'd given me 10 years ago, promising our dream. 5 minutes later, 23 images landed, Nathan kissing Stella, a 24-year-old model, on a terrace, his hand under her dress, hers clutching a Tiffany blue box. My nails dug into my palm, shock burning into cold fury. No tears fell. My throat tightened as I slipped off the ring, spinning it on the marble, its sparkle hollow. 10 years of crafting perfect weddings, negotiating ironclad deals, mastering property laws for clients, I wasn't the fool he thought. His text was a thief's victory lap, assuming I'd crumble. But I'd handled crises before, a collapsed tent, a missing cake, I always found a way. This time, it was personal. The shock faded, the hurt hardened, and anger flared into a plan. He'd underestimated me, and that was his mistake. I stood, smoothing my navy suit, his favorite, as my mind raced. I dialed Richard Bennett, my mentor and attorney, my voice steady despite the fire inside. "Richard, it's Sophia. Nathan's stealing my company and betraying our marriage. Bring everything, contracts, finances," he said. "We'll fight." The ring clattered to a stop. For the first time in months, I felt the calm of control. "Game on, darling," I whispered, lips curling into a smile. He thought he'd won, but I was just beginning. The penthouse was silent as I sat at the kitchen island, Nathan's text, "Paris with Stella. Sign the papers, Soph, love you," burning on my phone. My fingers steadied on the mug, no longer trembling but fueled by a resolve I'd honed over a decade of flawless weddings. I wasn't the broken wife he'd expected, I was Sophia Carter, and I'd turn his betrayal into his ruin. My chest tightened as I reopened the company accounts, $250,000 siphoned off, masked as business development. This wasn't just an affair, it was a calculated theft, and I had the tools to fight back. I started with the facts. The financials showed 6 withdrawals, dates aligning with his trips. My jaw clenched as I checked the client ledger, no new projects, just a void where my money had vanished. Then the contract, upon signature, voting rights shift to 51% for the secondary shareholder. Nathan. He'd planned to steal Carter and Pierce weddings, my brand, my legacy, while I designed bouquets. My stomach twisted, but a cold clarity took hold. He'd underestimated me, and that was his first mistake. I called Olivia Brooks, my best friend and photographer. "Liv, I need you here," I said, voice firm like I was directing a wedding crew. She arrived fast, photos in hand. "Soph, you okay?" she asked, concern in her eyes. I forced a smile. "I will be. He's done." She exhaled. "These are from Beverly Hills, him and Stella." I dug deeper. She opened her laptop, revealing receipts from the company Dropbox, $15,000 dinners, a $20,000 watch, a $50,000 wire to Stella Ventures. My breath caught, anger flaring hot. "He's using my money for her," I whispered. Olivia gripped my hand. "You've got this, sophomore. You always fix the impossible." Next, Richard Bennett, my mentor and legal ace. "Sophia, what's he done?" he asked, voice steady. I laid it out, contract, withdrawals, photos. "He's stealing the company," I said, calm despite the fire inside. Richard scanned the papers, grinning darkly. "That clause needs board approval. He's got no leg to stand on." "And these withdrawals?" "Embezzlement. We've got him." My lips twitched. "How do we hit back?" 3 months, he said. "Gather more, lock the equity, strike at the quarterly meeting. Play the oblivious wife till then." I nodded. "I've played tougher roles." That night, Nathan came home, suit pristine, smile smug. "Time to sign, darling. Board's waiting tomorrow." Victory gleamed in his eyes. I poured 2 glasses of red wine, smiling as our fingers brushed. "Soon," I said, voice soft. "Just a few questions." He sipped, relaxed. "Like what?" "Last quarter's numbers," I said, leaning back, feigning confusion. "I'm no good with this stuff." He smirked, pleased. "Leave it to me, sophomore. Stick to the pretty weddings." My heart raced, but I cooed, "You're too good to me." Inside, I listed my needs, bank records, emails, client contracts. Next morning, while he showered, I copied his phone and laptop, skills from years of wedding emergencies. For 8 weeks, I was a machine, days crafting luxury events, nights dissecting evidence with Richard. Olivia posed as a promo photographer, snapping Nathan's office meetings. "He's cozy with Lisa, the finance director," she whispered over coffee, sliding me photos, Nathan and Lisa poring over client lists, pricing sheets. "He's hinted to clients you're stepping back," she added. My coffee went cold, rage simmering. "Keep watching, Liv. He's blind." I met Miles Crawford, our top client, under the guise of a dinner. "Miles, I need your support," I said, eyes steady. He nodded. "Your vision is Carter and Pierce." "I'm with you." 7 more clients pledged loyalty over the next week. Richard found a gem in the company charter. The wedding designer, me, held final brand rights, a clause Nathan had ignored. 8 weeks in, we had it all: $500,000 misappropriated, equity tampering, client lies. The quarterly meeting, Richard said at a board dinner. "We strike there." That night, Nathan brought roses, kissing me smugly. "You're different lately, sharper," he said in bed. I smiled, fingertips grazing his cheek. "Just planning our future." "Worried?" he asked, gripping my hand. "It'll all go to plan," I said softly. "His plan?" "No, mine." As he slept, I stared at the ceiling, calm as a still venue before the storm. He thought he knew me, but he'd never seen me. Game on. The quarterly board meeting dawned like a wedding I'd planned to perfection, sunlight slicing through the penthouse as I slipped into my crimson suit, not Nathan's pastel choice, but mine. My reflection stared back, steady, the ring glinting one last time. For 8 weeks, I played his game, smiling at his lies, pouring his wine, letting him think I'd sign away Carter and Pierce weddings. My chest tightened as I tucked the contract into my bag, Richard's red ink marking Nathan's doom. Today, the mask came off. Nathan swaggered into the kitchen, tie crisp, grin smug. "Big day, darling. Ready?" he said, sipping my coffee. Victory danced in his eyes. Ready, I replied, voice soft, handing him his briefcase with a smile. My heart pounded, but my hands stayed steady. Love you, he called, leaving. Love you too, I echoed, lips curling faintly. He'd hear it again, my way. At the office, the glass-walled meeting room framed LA's skyline. 7 board members settled around the mahogany table, Nathan at the head, iPad in hand. Nice suit, Soph, he smirked, gesturing to his side. I'll sit here, I said, taking the opposite end, placing my portfolio down. His brow twitched. Olivia lingered, documenting the annual report. Richard entered, briefcase in tow. Nathan stiffened. What's Bennett doing here? My request, I said, smiling like I'd calmed a bridezilla. The air thickened. Let's start, Nathan said, tapping my contract. Sophia's signed the equity shift. Smart, right, darling? His grin begged agreement. I stood, voice calm. First, some updates. His smile flickered as I handed out folders, financials, emails, photos. These show $500,000 illegally withdrawn from our accounts. Nathan paled. Soph, what's this? He snapped, straining for control. I clicked the projector. Nathan to Stella, La Pearl Hotel. Used company funds, nobody'll notice. Nathan to Lisa, $50K to my account. Tell Soph it's vendors. Gasps erupted. Miles Crawford's eyes narrowed. Your signature, Nathan? A misunderstanding, Nathan shouted, hands slamming the table. Routine expenses. Routine? I said, projecting a $40,000 watch receipt beside his wrist, then a jet to Paris, an apartment lease for Stella. Business expenses? Lisa stammered. He said it was approved. Section 7.3 says otherwise. I cut in, nodding to Richard. Nathan's face twisted. You don't get business, Soph. It's strategy for your mistress? I asked, unveiling their photos. Elena Vasquez spoke. Your response, Mr. Pierce? She's sabotaging me. Our marriage is failing, he yelled, pointing. She's unstable. Miles stood. Her work's flawless. Doubled my revenue. You're the liability. Richard slid forward the contract. This equity shift's illegal. No board approval. Add embezzlement, and it's over. Nathan lunged for it. I built this. We built it, I corrected, pulling the ring off and slamming it down. The clatter silenced him. 10 years I trusted you, and you tried to steal it. My heart raced, voice ice. You forgot who I am, a planner who fixes your messes. Richard pushed a motion. Freeze his voting rights, suspend him as CFO, audit the accounts. 4 hands rose, unanimous. Save Nathan's. You've got nothing, he roared, but security stepped in, escorting him out. This isn't over. Soph, he screamed, voice fading. The board clapped, slow, firm. Elena approached. You're the core, Sophia. What's next? We rebuild, I said, calm flooding me. That night, the penthouse door clicked open, Nathan, key in hand, eyes blazing. You ruined me, he growled, stepping closer. I sat, ring on the counter beside divorce papers. You ruined yourself. I'll fight this, he hissed, grabbing my arm. Careful, I said, phone recording. Assault won't help. He froze, grip loosening. 10 years, Soph. Your things are packed, I said, nodding to suitcases. Stella's waiting, without my money. His shoulders slumped. You're nothing without me. I stood, towering. I was everything before you. I opened the door, dropping the ring in his pocket. Severance, I whispered. He left, defeated. At the window, city lights glowed. The phone buzzed. Olivia. He's gone? Gone, I said, smiling. I've never been better. The weight was gone, his lies, his theft, his ring. I'd taken it all back, and the future was mine. 1 year later, I stood at the glass wall of my new top-floor office, Carter Weddings logo, sans Pierce, gleaming behind me. LA sprawled below, a testament to the empire I'd rebuilt. My fingers traced a gold pendant at my neck, forged from the ring that once bound me to Nathan, now a symbol of liberty earned. On my desk, a framed Vogue Business Award, Wedding Empire of the Year, sat beside contracts for our biggest year yet. The penthouse was a memory. This was my reality. Olivia knocked, stepping in with her camera, now creative director. Peterson wedding photos, she said, spreading stunning shots of our latest $2.5 million event. Miles wants his nieces booked too. I smiled, warmth spreading through my chest. Since Nathan's exit, we doubled revenue, 3 A-listers and a tech billionaire's daughter on our roster. Any sentencing news? She asked. 5 years, I said, voice even. Stella bailed post-indictment, prison's not her vibe. My stomach settled, no anger left, just peace. Richard joined us, tossing Forbes on the desk. Sophia Carter, how she built LA's wedding empire twice. Clients love it, he said. 3 cited your story when signing. My throat tightened as I flipped through Betrayal to Triumph, Wife to Powerhouse. The audit had clawed back $1.2 million from Nathan's offshore stash. The divorce had cut him loose. He signed, Richard added. No contest. I exhaled, signing Sophia Carter, free at last. The design studio hummed downstairs, 15 staff crafting sustainable luxury and VR tours Nathan once mocked. Maya, my assistant, beamed as she showed me a $2.5 million Thompson contract, biggest yet. My lips twitched, recalling his scoff at million-dollar deals. That evening, the team toasted on the rooftop. Elena Vasquez raised her glass. To Sophia, integrity over ruthlessness. Cheers rang out, their trust a foundation stronger than Nathan's lies. At my Malibu beach house, waves crashed as I sipped wine on the deck. A LinkedIn ping, Nathan viewed my profile from prison. I closed it, unmoved. An email followed, his mother, I understand, Sophia. You were always stronger. I saved it, not for spite, but closure. My mind drifted to a year ago, his trips, his smug too soft. I'd missed the signs, blinded by others' dreams. My stomach twisted, then eased. Those years hadn't broken me, they'd built me. I raised my glass to the stars. To endings and beginnings, I whispered, meaning every word. The woman who'd frozen at betrayal now thrived, planner of perfect days, now living them. A dating app buzzed, I joined, not needing, but wanting to share this life. The ocean stretched vast before me, like the future I'd claimed. Nathan had tried to steal it all, my work, my trust, me. Instead, I'd taken it back, sharper, stronger, mine.